Hey guys, Shane here from Fugatech 3D Printing, and today we're going to do an unboxing of the 3D Systems Cube 3. Like I said guys, welcome back. This is going to be the unboxing of the 3D Systems Cube 3 3D printer. This actually is not being manufactured anymore, so everyone went onto eBay and decided to dump their entire stock. That's where I picked this one up on. So let's open it up and take a look inside. First up with the box, they use these plastic pull tabs in order to take out. These secure the lid, which is really nice, so you don't have to worry about ripping the box or going through any big staples or anything. Right here on top we have a Cube 3 Quickstart guide. So this runs us through setup, how to put it together, even though it's pretty much fully assembled. And we'll go through this as we do our setup here. We've got a little package here. What's inside? USB stick with the user guide in it, a print gap gauge, Allen wrench, sandpaper, scraper, and pliers all in here. Let's see what kind of quality these are. Sometimes you get these printers, they send you tools, but they're, you know, not even dollar store quality. So we'll see what it has here. Alright. So here's the printer gap gauge, the little trash symbol, do not throw this away. So we have that. Here's the USB stick. Has 3D Systems on it, cubify.com. Oh, okay. Little Nino's pliers, and here's the Allen wrench. Nice little set. It comes with the packaging still there. And we have a wee little putty knife here. So this is actually really nice. So Angus over on Maker's Muse, a few weeks ago I believe it was, did a video about how dangerous these were to use, mainly because they have pointed edges on the side. This one does not. So actually you're not really going to hurt yourself if you were to accidentally jab. I mean, you'll hurt yourself, but not like with the pointed ones. You're actually going to like dig into you. So this is not a bad little tool. I like that. And finally, we have some 320 grit. This looks to be probably about a 5x5 sheet of sandpaper. Over here to the side, we've got this box here. Alright, so as I can see right off the bat, we have the power cord inside of it. And here we have the cartridges as well. So we have our standard US plug. This looks to be a nice long cable, probably around 10 foot, which is nice to see. Underneath that, we have Cube glue for the Cube 3rd generation Cube Pro, EcoCycle Cube, and Cube X 3D printers. So they come with their own little glue stick. And, ooh, yep, that's nice and juicy. It has a little sponge top to it for easy application. So that'll be very good, cool to use. And we have the power brick. Let's take a look at specs on this real quick. So this is 100 to 240, 24 volt, 5 amps. So it's nice that it'll be, you know, universal for anybody that buys it. And here we have the cartridges. Let's pull both these out. Don't need that anymore. Alright, so we have a PLA red. And this one is a PLA neon green. Let me get a knife real quick, cut these open. Okay, so here's the cartridges. You know, they're in a package here. Have to cut this open as well. Alright, so we have several pieces of this little silica packets in there. Comes in its own little protective case. And here is the cartridge. Gives you all of the material specs here on the side. It doesn't say actually how much is in it, which is interesting. I mean, it's not obviously a kilogram. It definitely doesn't feel like it. And here there's a little instructions on how to actually mount the head into the printer head. So that's the red, and we'll pull out the green a little later. All right, now for the printer, we've got some nice foam in there. There's a handle, but I can't reach it. So pull this out, put that down, and that is it for the box. Okay, here it is. As you can see, compared to me, it's a relatively small printer. The print size on this is a 6x6x6 cube. So it is fairly small. There's a lot smaller ones out there, but it's definitely on the smaller side compared to the printers that I already have on hand. What the hoop. Okay, so here's the printer. I have we'll call this the gray. Got some cardboard in here that needs to be removed. Just gonna pull this out. So there it is, the cardboard's off. Got this tape here that tells you what you need to do to actually install the cartridges. So we're just gonna set that aside. Make sure we got everything off. Nope, there's another piece of cardboard shoved under the bed, and that now looks like that is it. Little adhesive there over the screen, so I'll actually turn this the right way. Alright, there it is. Let's pull out the Quickstart guide and see how we get this thing rolling. I do find interesting that here the very first thing is how to unpack your cube, which you obviously have already done since you're reading the Quickstart guide. Okay, so here we go. So we removed the cardboard out of the top, we removed the cardboard out of the center, and we removed the cardboard out from underneath. It seems like to raise the platform, there might be another, no, that's just it says to raise that out, but I had pulled it out myself. But we'll pick it up just to be sure. Yep, nothing else under there. Alright, so it goes through what's included. Open the accessory box, unpack the material cartridges, USB mass storage device, and the power supply cord, and the cube glue bottle. Connect the power supply to the power inlet port. Connect power supply utility power, and power on the printer next to the touchscreen button. Right there. Alright, so let's plug it in. Before we plug this in, let's just take a look at it real quick. So, like I said, this is a 6 cube build size, and it says here, we have a removable build plate, which is magnetic, which is really nice. This is a non-heated bed, so that's why they give you the glue to use. It's also the reason why I got this is because I want to be able to use this and to kind of be able to connect with other people out there that have not just cheap printers, but they could have this, but just printers that don't have a heated bed. Both of my printers, actually the third printer I have now, all have heated beds, so I'm not really sure how to do any of it without a heated bed, so this is going to help me kind of learn that process. So I'm excited for that. This is a dual extruder printer, so up here on the top there are ports for both of the cartridges to plug right into, and they lock in a certain way, but they both plug right into there. There is a fan up here that will cool everything, and underneath here is actually where the nozzles are. They're hidden up under here. So it's actually really nice that there's no real exposed hot surfaces anywhere on the printer. So this is a super duper safe printer, and that's also what they kind of advertise as, is that it's safe for kids to use, since you won't, once the build plate comes all the way up, there's no hot surfaces exposed, which is great. On the one side down here we have I'm going to call it the standard printer port, which is going to be in order to connect this to your computer. The power port is beside it. Here we have side for one cartridge. We spin it around. Here on the other side, here is a standard USB port. This is for the USB that they send you, but you can also print from the USB, and this is side for the other cartridge. You'll notice there is no SD card slot on this printer. You're going to be using a USB stick instead of an SD card. Some people might like that, some people might not, but it is what it is. Moment of truth. It has lights too, that's kind of cool. I actually didn't know it had that. Alright, so now that we're powered up, please select your language with the check mark. I have to spin it here so I can see it. And welcome, you hit the check mark. What would you like to name me? Oh, that's interesting. Enter the name for your printer. We're going to call it QB, just because we can. QB. Okay, so connect your printer to your network. Alright, so there's my wireless. Click on it, and then we need to type in our password. I'm going to turn all the way around for this. Check mark to confirm. It tells me that it's connecting. And the next step here is to actually register it on their website for a warranty. So I'm going to write that down and we'll take care of that at a later date. I went on their website real quick and went ahead and activated that. So now I have my PIN I can put in there now. Congratulations, we're now activated. Okay, so before installing cartridges, select the cartridge icon and select Start to begin the process of installing your print cartridge. So start. We're moving here. Let me move here so you can see it. Okay. Let the printer will begin to heat. Wait until the printer is finished heating and then follow the user prompts on the touchscreen menu. Okay, so we have our first cartridge here, ready to go. So it's heating up, and actually in the top it's a progress bar, so it's going across the screen right now to show that it is heating up. Once that has heated up, we can go ahead and install this. So we're going to attach this now. We install it here. And rotate it, and that locks it in. Going back and forth, checking things. Okay, now it's heating up the other side, and once that heats up, we can install the other cartridge. So I'll go ahead and open that up now and get ready for it. Gotta say, look at that green. Man, that is bright stuff right there. Okay, so what it did right there is it actually just primed the one extruder nozzle, so it put out a little bit. And here in the sides are these little troughs, so, and that's actually a rubber wiper here. So as it goes over to the side, it actually will wipe off the used, the whatever film is still extruded, wipe it off. It falls into here, you pull this out, and then you can dump this out periodically to keep the printer clean. So that should make for cleaner two-color prints. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and do the second cartridge. And it's flashing up here to tell me that it is heating up. You can also see it down on the status bar. As it is loading up, it's heating up. Once it completes, it'll tell me I can install it, and it'll do the exact same process it did for the red, it'll do for the green now. So we'll fast forward through all this. Okay, so now that we have both those loaded, it's going to ask me to do a test print, and it's going to go through a leveling process. So we're going to hit the check mark and see how it goes. Ensure that the print plate is clean. It is clean. Alright, we'll let it roll. Okay, so that took about 2 minutes and it says auto level successful. Please wait while the printer sets the Z gap. Alright, it says adjusted gap successful, and it is a negative 0.3728. Check mark. Okay, so now we have a test print ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and hit print. Colors in the print file do not match the colors in the printer. It will assign colors that are already loaded. Okay, no, so again, I have never used glue before, and I've never used a non-heated plate, so in here it tells you how to do it. So it tells you to grab your glue stick and apply enough glue to cover a square area of about 5 inches. For best results, apply 2 thin layers of cube glue using a slow circular motion. The print jets will begin to heat, and then the printing will begin, and welcome message test to print. So it's saying to do a zigzag pattern one way and a zigzag pattern the other way. So we're going to do that, and we'll get this thing printing. Okay, once the glue is applied, it says to let it dry, so we'll let it sit for a minute or two, make sure it's dry, and then we'll tell it to continue. Alright, well the glue is dry, so let's continue on now. It's heating, it's going to start printing. So we'll come back when this is done and we'll see how the print looks. Okay, so the first print is done. Let's take a look at it here. Build plate. Alright, I hope you can see that there. Got one little string that just pops right off. And there it is. So we're going to use our tool they gave us, which is actually interesting because it is magnetic, so it kind of wants to grab it. So it said here that it was going to take 13 minutes when I first started the print. At the end, it says it took 24 minutes. So I'll take that off. And there's still a little bit of glue on it, so that'll just wash right off, a little bit of warm water. So it's their logo, the E3D Systems, and almost looks like a cube there on the back for their cube printer. But it's a little like keychain type thing. It's only one color, not a dual color thing. I'm going to see what else, what other test prints they have to do to see if we can do a dual color test print on this. But I think we'll save that for later. But looking at this, the gaps, it tells you to check the gaps, and the gaps look, this is first layer awesomeness. It's very interesting though to see a first layer that isn't super shiny. So I'm used to that since I only print on glass, and I've just now started printing on mirror on the FT5, that it's not like super duper shiny, but it looks great. For opening it up, hitting print, you kind of can't beat it, to be honest. I did look online while this was printing, and there are hacks in order to bypass the proprietary cartridges here, which is great to know and great to have, because since they no longer make this, eventually they will no longer make these cartridges, and these retail on their website for about $50 a piece. So that's a little expensive for a roll of filament, especially because I'm not sure it's quite 1 kilogram, but I'd have to go on there to verify. But with the hack, I can use any of the colors that I have here, put it right through, and we'll be good to go. And once I hit the check mark right there, it tells you to please wait while it cools. So that is interesting with this printer, is that you have to wait for it to heat up and wait for it to cool down before you can do anything else. I have to dive more into the menu to see if you're able to preheat it, or if it only heats when you are actually starting to print. So I know on the other printers I have, I can go ahead to print, preheat, PLA, and then I can go and do a couple other things, whatever I'm doing, and then when it gets up to temperature, I can select my file and it just starts printing right away. But with this, once you select it, it goes. So again, that'll be something I have to dig into and see how it goes. Having seen this print, now granted it was only just the small test print of 24 minutes, but I was still able to experience what this was like. I can say this is an extremely loud printer. Not just a bad thing. Again, I don't really print. As you can see, all my printers here are idle. I don't print while I'm recording. And right now, because I'm on my shotgun mic, I don't have a long enough lavalier. I can't. So if I had a lavalier, I might be able to have it print. But either way, this is a loud printer, but fantastic from what I've seen so far. Again, it is a 6 cube print area, and it tells you here in the guide actually what the working area is. The working area inside here is 8 cube, and the build plate will actually go out 4 inches out the front and 4 inches out of the back of the printer. So kind of so you're aware of, you give yourself a little bit of extra clearance there. If you're going to have this near a wall, give yourself a minimum of 4 inches behind it so that it's not going to hit against the wall and ruin your print. This printer is able to print PLA and ABS from what it says. I don't have any of their ABS cartridges, so I'm only going to do for PLA, and what I've seen, it prints PLA great. On the construction, the outside of the printer and most of the inside is completely plastic, but it does feel extremely stable. When the printer was going up and down, I was looking to see if there was any wobble, and I didn't really see any. Now if I grab it, there is a slight wobble. There are 2 linear rails on either side, and the extruder also runs across on linear rails, which is great to see because lead screws will have a little bit of Z-wobble, and you'll get a little bit of Z-banding in your print unless they are absolutely perfectly straight and you have everything perfectly aligned, which is really hard to do on a lot of printers, but it can be done, don't get me wrong. But these linear rails are far more superior than any lead screw or threaded rods you're going to find out there. Looking at a couple other things like belt tension, I can feel in here the belt is tight. I'm not sure if there's actually any way to adjust it, but I do know that it doesn't need adjusting, which is great to know. The bed was leveled itself perfectly. I didn't have to adjust any of the manual adjustments for that, which are these three magnetic pads here. You would actually have to loosen it with the Allen wrench, hold it up, bring it up or down however much you need to, and then tighten it back up. It's really not a great way to have to level the bed if this can't do it on the auto setting, simply because it's a little hard to judge how high or how low you need to bring it, and then be able to put your fingers in there and re-tighten that down. But again, it leveled perfectly for me, so I want to leave it exactly how it is. And finishing looking here through the guide, it tells you to do your function check. So we've done everything here, and it's worked out just great. Tells you how to remove your creation from the print pad. So you should always remove the print pad off of the printer and then work on removing your print, simply because it is only magnetic, so it will move, but you can do it on a more sturdy surface and you're not going to worry about breaking any of your prints. It goes through here on maintenance and it tells you how to clean your pad. So it's a little annoying, but it says here that you're going to need to actually wash the pad under warm water. I'm going to scrape it first with the scraper, see how much actually will come off. If it's an acceptable amount that's left over, I'll leave it go. Otherwise, I will take it upstairs to the sink, rinse it off with the warm water as it says, and then be able to print again. So it's a little annoying again, but I've never used anything with glue before, so it's kind of a learning process for me. And finally, the last pages in here is the gap verification. So it shows you what a gap should look like, and it shows you what it looks like if the gap is too large. And then the final page here, it walks you through on how to do the manual gap adjustments. So for a quick little guide, this is fantastic, and it worked out perfectly. So kudos to them for putting together a very well written and very well pointed, I'll say, on getting this document is really good at getting this running. I did have a look at the USB drive, and it actually is a 4 gig drive, which is very nice to see. A lot of companies, they'll buy real cheap thumb drives. Oh, here's the manual, but it's like 128 megs. This is not the case, because I believe they want you to use this for your prints as well to load them on there. So I went and looked at the instructions. It's a extremely long, thorough user guide on how to do all kinds of things with this. Troubleshooting's included. And again, it's a 4 gig drive, so I can throw a couple hundred probably STLs on there and not have to worry about running out of space. Alright guys, so there's my unboxing and the first print using the Cube 3 3D printer. I am going to post another video later when I do some 2-color prints, which I cannot wait to do. That's a big reason why I picked this up, is to be able to do stuff like that. I don't have any dual extruder machines. This is going to be my first one. Even though they're small objects, it's still going to be real fun to do. So if you like this video, please give it a like. If you want to watch more, you can subscribe to my channel and be notified when something comes out. If you want to help support the channel, I have Patreon. Please send $1 or $2 my way. I greatly appreciate it. Links will be down below. I also have affiliate links with Amazon and Maker's Geek. So if you're going to buy some filament or do your everyday shopping, Christmas is coming up. So use my Amazon and other affiliate links down below and help out the channel a bit. And as always, happy printing.